right, Star Trek Original Series rewatch with me, Pops the Trek noob. This is The Devil in the Dark. This is one that I'm at least loosely familiar with, more so of like moments in the episode than like, if you've quizzed me. I knew that Shatner called this his favorite because it happened like when his dad passed and it gets into some deep stuff that was done very well. And I kind of have to concur with Kirk. This is a really good one. And I want to get into why I think so, my reaction, and actually a couple of live reaction clips at the very end, which hopefully will put a smile on your face. So let's get right to this one. All right, we get to a mining colony. We get a little clip of life in the mining colony, and we leave this poor fellow behind. He's going to be face to face with whatever creature is attacking these poor miners. They've tapped into this new area. It's killed like 50 miners or engineers. It's destroying equipment, that kind of thing. And the Enterprise is racing there to help them. I love the fact that Schmitter is the guy left behind here, and he's kind of alluded to quickly before the attack happens, and he is no longer. And this guy, oh, I know this guy. Ken Lynch is like this stoic cop actor from that era, this dragnet, straight laced guy. And there are times where it doesn't really work. And even in this episode, it is kind of a little too stiff for me in some ways. But I've always respected his work and what he was able to do as a career back in the day. So kind of fun seeing him here. Once the episode gets going a little bit, we get a couple cool shots. I actually like shots like this, and I love this in the background. Also done very well. And they're kind of investigating the situation on what's going down. And he's kind of really off-putting and arrogant about everything. Look at the silly outfits they have them in. It's fine. I didn't actually dislike any of those kinds of things. This was really kind of the big tell, and I kind of loosely remembered the orbs. So they talk about silica. They talk about this orb, the different minerals that they're used throughout the galaxy for different things. And it's very important that this mining colony continues up and running. And Spock points out this odd orb. Now, it's a very clear thing as a fan of science fiction, especially aging, that this is going to be some sort of egg or something that's relevant to whatever's happening down there. I didn't even remotely come off that thought when this was happening. And obviously that kind of plays out to be true in the episode. All right, there's a quick little rundown of what the plan's going to be. Spock talks about them mapping out the different caverns and mines before they have these poor folks split up and go down there. And they find this one area where it's sort of like melted through a hole. You can just get right in. It steals a very key component to the reactor there. So there's going to be a meltdown. All of that feels like a little science mumbo jumbo, but nothing too out of the norm. Didn't raise any red flags for me or anything like that. It does create that quote sense of urgency. Involves Scotty. Not enough Scotty, by the way. But I do like the fact that Spock is pretty perplexed by everything going on. So that's kind of cool to see. I will say it felt like we're just kind of delaying a little bit before we kind of get into things. And that's kind of how things play out a little bit. Here's the Scotty and him working on the equipment. And then you have this sort of like the red crewman brig. They're going to go down. They're going to split everybody up and go into different things and look around for this creature. And then, of course, you have different moments that are supposed to be tense. I really was not really thinking anything was going to happen. I do think this was kind of funny how they're going to have these random caverns or tracking things before they get to this creature. They shoot a little piece off of him, and that's what they find. Now, this effect, let me play this effect real quick. See how it's pulsating? That was really cool. This was a really good effect. They kept it pulsating. I'm assuming that you guys in chat will tell me how they did that. I didn't really look it up for this. I think that was probably one of the most cool, brilliant elements of this episode was the attention to those kind of details for me. So we end up with just more of the search, trying to figure out what's going on. The urgency is still there because Scotty's machine doesn't hold up. They're going to have to really figure out how to get their hands on this creature, find out what's going on. Kirk and Spock put themselves in harm's way, and Kirk is there face to face with this creature, holding it and testing it. Like it figures out how to move forward and move back. And it's really, really, it seems like it would be cheesy, but I actually thought this was actually very good. They use like a spray foam, they paint it. They obviously have an actor underneath there crawling back and forth. And this actor is fantastic. I'm pretty sure this guy was, I had to look it up to make sure. I don't remember his name now, but I remember this episode in sort of relationship to researching something else. And what that was this is an actor who had done like a lot of guerrilla work and a lot of different costume type performances back in that era. That was the extent of my connection. I know you guys can run with that in more detail. I'm the noob here. I don't want to spend a lot of time looking things up. I'd rather you guys get a more fresh and honest reaction from me in what I'm seeing and how I'm experiencing the episode. But I was totally in on this. I think this episode is fantastic in that regard. And then basically the episode centers around the fact that they've ascertained the fact that this is not a creature that is meaning them a lot of harm. And we end up with like the absolutely insane and somewhat silly mind melding thing with Spock. I still didn't understand why he can do this without putting his hands on the other entity. Now, later in the episode, he does do that, quote, the deeper connection. But Spock screaming and yelling pain, I thought was just really overdone and over dramatized because the creature, I mean, I guess the creature is in pain because it had a piece of itself shot off, but that's not what he's conveying. He's conveying the pain of the organism and the loss of its species and all of that. So it's fine. It all works towards the end goal. And the end goal is that the creature is the last of its kind. This is that deeper mind meld shot, which is totally fine. Makes more sense. I love that they bring in McCoy, and McCoy is going to quote be asked to fix it. I have to say I was really thrilled, and you'll see my reaction to this that we got the "I'm a doctor, not a bricklayer" type comment. I was just completely thrilled that we got the bones comment in this episode. It's perfect. It makes me happy. Then we get our climax with the miners who are just ready to kill it. It killed theirs, they're going to kill it. So they kind of go into the things and then they kind of discover the broken eggs and they figure out how to communicate that to the miners who immediately are like, oh no, we didn't mean any harm. So I thought this was fantastic. And it really does show kind of an essence of Star Trek and exploration and humanity and what the mission is supposed to be. So the fact that it sort of kind of culminates with this message of, you don't want to do harm. You're there about perpetuating the species. It's something you completely don't know and understand. And you can figure out a way to harmoniously work together. That essence of what Star Trek is and can be as far as exploration goes, I think was this. That's the home run. And I'm sure that's a little bit of what Shatner's pointed at, even though he has these crazy moments and memories that he can point to with Spock screaming with the Vulcan mind meld and stuff. But reality is the message of this is so core, I think, to what we're supposed to take away from space exploration is go out there in the universe, don't do harm, don't try to engage violence unless you're actually forced to, and more importantly, perpetuate species, educate yourself, educate others, bring things together in a more harmonious way in the universe and the galaxy. So love this episode. I thought it was one I would not have expected enjoying this much. I think that is enough to kind of look past the Spock overacting scene and some of the wasted time we had. We're just kind of delaying getting to the point a little bit. The episodes are full of a little bit of fluff. So not like top tier for me, but definitely like the bottom of, let's say, top 10 kind of thing. Like definitely one that I enjoy way more than I thought I would because I think it does have a core value and a message that is true to the franchise and the IP. So hopefully you'll stay tuned, watch a few of my live reactions, and maybe even a blooper or two. Might get a couple of those in there. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Pops. I always like Ken Lynch. He's so good. I know him from North by Northwest, and he's on like a Gunsmoke of Bonanza. All that stuff that's like hardcore detective and cowboy lawman type stuff. Look at Schmitter. Poor Schmitter. He's done. He's toast. We have to know that we're going to get to the ball on the desk, right? It's obviously going to be an egg or something like that. It's clear, but it's funny how we're kind of dancing around getting to that point. Oh, we're gonna get some Scotty. I love me some Scotty. Oh, he's gonna say miracle worker, isn't he? Oh man, they got Nimoy overacting like crazy, doesn't he? Poor Shatner. Like, what is happening? Yes. Oh yes. Oh, that's so much what I want. Oh, we rewind it. Do it again. Oh, it's so good. Let's do that again. Oh, that's my Star Trek right there. That's what I love. I'm a doctor, not a blah 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 blah. Fill in the blanks. Yes. Oh, that's good. Bonus points for that. Bonus points for that. There he is. Now this guy, oh, he's an icon, man. He plays Ken Lynch. I know from so many things, but he kind of like has that stoic cock. Oh boy, that's a bad blooper, isn't it?
Oh, this is becoming a blooper.
I do like the fact that Spock is pretty boy, easy for me to say.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.